Hey everyone, it's me and my little girl Alexandria. Okay, so I know it's been like 2 weeks, but I've just been kind of having fun. I guess you could say that, having fun and being with her. Um, right now I'm feeding her breast milk. I was pumping. Um, I actually did make a labor video, but I guess it didn't post because it was too long, so I actually have to make a shorter one. So, we'll make a shorter video. It can only be like, I guess like 12 minutes or something. Anyway, I'll make like a part 1 and part 2 if it gets longer than 10 minutes. But anyway, the last video I posted was of me in the hospital, and that's the last time you guys heard of me. September. Whoa, where did I get that? May 12th at night, after I posted to Lacey in her 36 or 37 week reply video I did for her about how she was wanting to be dilated and everything. I actually went into labor that night. Yeah, I know, crazy. I was like, oh, talking about how just be patient, she'll be here before you know it, and I'm sitting there talking like that, and here I have a little girl. So anyway, I went into labor. I actually was laying in bed. So this is my story. This is my labor story. I was laying in bed. I went to bed around 11:30, 11:45. I was laying in bed and I was watching Dane Cook on Comedy Central, and I was laughing, and all of a sudden I heard this pop and felt this pop, like a balloon popped inside me. And I just laid there for a second because I remember somebody telling me that's what your water feels like. It feels like somebody popped a balloon, or you hear it. And no water came out or anything, so I stood up and I was kind of like bouncing around, and it was funny because my dog's looking at me on my bed like, what is this crazy fat woman doing? So I'm bouncing around and I'm like, well, I guess it wasn't my water because no fluid's coming out. So I laid back down in bed, and I finally fell asleep. I'm not sure about what time. I fell asleep watching Dane Cook, obviously, but then all of a sudden I woke up at 12:45, my bed soaked, and pain just wrapped around my midsection. Just absolutely excruciating. I felt like my insides were going to be torn out. I mean, it's pelvic pressure, and a lot of pelvic pressure. But I mean, you just know. When you're having a real contraction, you'll just know. You can't, when you're having a real contraction, you can't walk. You can, but you're hunched over. At least I was. And I could barely talk. So I immediately called my grandma and told her to come pick me up, and my grandma's like, are you serious? The one night I don't spend the night, you're going into labor. My grandma gets here, we get to the hospital, I think 2 o'clock, because I got a video on here of me actually, the night that my water broke. I look like shit, actually. But I went to the, oh goodness. I went to, I'm sorry guys, I'm totally out of it. I got to the hospital around 2 o'clock, and they checked me, and they put me in a monitoring room and didn't even strap me up to monitors. They checked how far I was, and the nurse, like, when she put her fingers in me, like, she took her fingers back out and she was like, you're 5 centimeters. Do you want an epidural or not? And I'm like, I'm thinking, I don't know right now. And she goes, well, you need to make an answer because you're on borderline, and you're not going to be able to have an epidural once you hit 7 centimeters. So they transferred me to the delivery room, and I was sitting there, and I looked at the nurse after probably about 15 minutes after she asked me if I wanted epidural, and I said yes. Because, at first I thought, I can do this. but the pain just started getting to the point where you feel like you're gonna crap yourself. Like, I mean, but it's bad pain. It's like the worst pooping pain you've ever had. And my mom was there and she was helping me breathe. When you set your mind to it, when you really tell yourself, relax, you know, don't push, but just relax and breathe, like take in deep breaths, like breathe through your nose and out through your mouth, and just focus on that, the pain, the contractions seem to go away quicker. For me, that's my opinion. But 2 hours went by. It was 2 o'clock, so it became like 4:30, 5 o'clock. They checked me, and I was 7 centimeters. And they say about a centimeter an hour. So I was thinking, okay, she's probably going to be here before 10 o'clock. I finally thought, well, since I didn't get any sleep from that night from, because I went to bed at 11:30 and got like 30 minutes of sleep, I thought, I'm going to get some sleep before she's here because I'm not going to want to go to bed. So I rolled over to my left side and started to doze off. Like, I was literally on the line of passing out. Doctor comes in and turns me back on my back and says, okay, we're going to check you again. So they checked me, and my doctor was like, oh, there's the baby, she's crowning. And I mean, 10 centimeters, there she was, I'm having a baby. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking at the clock, and it's 7 o'clock. And I'm like, you got to be joking me. This is going by so quick, Oh, by the way, I did get an epidural. I forgot to tell you guys that. They checked me right before I was 7 centimeters. They did check me again, and I was still 5 centimeters. They gave me the epidural, which wasn't painful to me at all. Really, I was in the middle of a contraction when they put the needle in my back, so maybe that's why it wasn't so painful, but it wasn't painful to me. So, anyway, back to the 10 centimeters. She checked me, said her head was right there, like, almost crowning, and I'm ready to have a baby. And I just started bawling, crying, hysterically, telling my mom I didn't want to do it. I don't want to, go through labor. And my mom's laughing at me going, well, it's a little too late now, Celie. No, I really did. I just was scared. I was very scared that I was going to rip, or I was scared that, I don't know, she's going to come out and be like this horrible monster. I don't know. I had my weird moments. But anyway, 30 minutes later, and pushing and pushing and pushing, 7 o'clock, and she was born at 7:55. She is 13 days today. She will be 14, 2 weeks tomorrow on Tuesday. Here she is. Oh, she's done with her bottle. She's all messy right now. This is 60 Andrea. She's probably gonna whine here in a second. But this is my little girl. She's my angel. Head full of hair. I know. It's like, well, Ma, when she came out, I was like, well, you didn't have a head full of hair. So she definitely got that from her dad. But anyway, I'm going to stop it here now, and then this is part 1, and then go to part 2, if you want to hear the rest of the story. Bye.